Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf. Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
Welcome to your new favorite show. Turn us up, streaming live, and let's go. We are
Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
with your host Big V and my main man Zach, and me Danny Slab. Yeah, I'm on the tracks.
Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
We're gonna show you how to grow,
Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
test the strengths and let you know what's.
Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
Understand the terpenes and get them.
Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
Take it all from a seed and grow them.
Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
So much we're gonna do on the show. Contests, sweet guests, and even comedy, bro. This is
Top Shelf, Top Shelf, Top Shelf.
You can ask any question, you don't have to watch live. Just visit our sites and heed our advice.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How's it going?
All right, man. It's February 2nd.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it
February
is.
2nd, man. All right.
2/2/21.
I am already heavily medicated.
Yes.
Zach, we have a frozen screen.
Do we?
Oh, great.
Let us know. Can you guys hear us?
We have a frozen screen. Oh, great. All righty. Well,
Let's see.
everybody get your meds ready. We're going to dab in here in a minute.
Where's...
We're having technical difficulties. Videos froze. You can hear us though, right? Hey, Colin, what's up? Oh, Colton, I'm sorry. Ricky, Shauna, Scott and Jenny. What are we doing, man?
We're trying to reload that camera up real quick.
All righty.
Let's restart this program.
All right. Yep, they can hear us. Hey, Patrick, what's up? We are frozen. We're the frozen chosen, man. We are the frozen. Can I get a witness? Somebody give me a witness. Oh, yeah. Are we using OBS?
Yes.
Yes, we are using OBS, Ricky.
Some understand.
Outdated bullshit.
Yes, it is.
That's what we're using. Hey, Dennis. Hey, Rachel. Rachel. Michael Forkham. Did we get it?
I think we've got it.
Are we B&B back in business?
All right.
There we are.
There we are.
Hey,
All right.
look at that shit. They're pros now, see? We can handle technical difficulties.
Yes, we can. All right.
Yeah.
Now, back to the
Dab in. Let's do it. All righty. We're already set. Let's get it melting. Don't need to go too much. There it is.
I actually think I'm going to need
All
some
right.
fluid in this torch.
Yeah, you need to borrow a torch?
Yeah, let me see that one.
There it is. Got a little cheese and chomp. I think, hell, I lost track. I know one thing. I'm heavily medicated before I dabbed in, so I'm going to be pretty fucking ripped here in a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Pretty ripped here in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pretty medicated here in a minute. See, I'm all kinds of messed up. What's everybody medicating with, guys? Apologize for coughing in your ear.
There we go.
Alrighty. Oh, it's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week in Canaland. I hope everybody's hanging tough. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
It
Now I got a
is
good one.
Groundhog Day. Oh, he says 6 more weeks.
6 more weeks.
6 more weeks. Do we believe him?
You know,
He saw his shadow, man.
we're in the
Punxsutawney
Midwest.
Phil.
We're in the Midwest. You can't go by that. Tomorrow it's going to be 65.
But if we were in Pennsylvania, then
right,
I mean, that's
Pennsylvania's
what I
a little
don't.
different.
Does the groundhog? Does his prediction span the globe? I mean, how can that be?
Well, it's summer in half the world.
You
right
remember
now.
when they dropped him and broke his neck and killed Punxsutawney Phil and had to get the new groundhog?
No, I don't.
That was a few years ago. I don't remember. Do you remember when that was, Shanae?
What?
When they dropped Punxsutawney Phil on his head?
I
did not know that. Wow.
Maybe it was fake news. I'm not sure.
Someone who takes into account nature's idea on the weather patterns and seasons, I don't care about a groundhog.
Oh, come on, man. Really? You don't care about a groundhog? Dang.
No,
That ain't
unless
right,
I live
so.
where that groundhog does.
All right. So, I'll tell you what, man. I need to do something here.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, that's right.
Nope. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
There
shared a
we
couple
go.
places.
I got to get you guys.
Public.
So, what we got going on here is we got a Grow It Forward,
Yes.
okay? We're going to give shout-outs. Zach, give shout-outs. Because, look, man, we've had a lot of people step up to the plate. I know we seem a little preoccupied. It's one of those nights, man.
It's been one of those weeks.
It's been one of those weeks. I'm trying to share shit here and talk to you guys, and I'm loving every minute of it. So, you know,
So we got some.
that's cool.
Yeah, we got some Grow It Forward sponsors. You know, of course, Happy Rock Farms, Casey Grow Coach.
Yep.
We got the Missouri Martian, the hometown. What was that?
The home team.
Home team.
Cultivation.
Home team.
The home team cultivation.
William Herrick, V9 420s, the Bud Room, and Health and Life Missouri.
And also the Eco Farms.
Eco Farms.
I posted a link to the Eco Farm page on my profile
Yeah.
just a few minutes ago. So go like that page if you when you get done here.
Yep.
And
And then,
don't
of course-
forget to like our page, please, and share this video right here.
Yeah.
So
And one
yeah.
person on the Grow It Forward that's working with us, helping us set this whole thing up, Ricky Starling and the Missouri Cannabis Network. So thank you guys for.
Did we get the bud room in there?
Yep, the
and
bud room.
V9 grows.
V9, all of them.
Now William Herrick, he's a transport. He's a secure transport. So now on this Grow It Forward package, they're linked to get signed up to win on our group, on our page. Get a hold of Missouri Cannabis Network. They're working with us on this. And how many? Did Ricky post a link up there? Ricky Starling's going to post a link to not only the sign up page, but also to how many people do we have signed up already, Ricky?
Yeah, let us
Do you
know.
know? I think he knows. So, yeah, so we're excited about this. We're going to give this tent away, this grow package away at the end of March. So,
Yeah, real coming
going to
up.
get somebody growing because and that's going to take me into our vision here at Top Shelf real quick. I just want to talk about our vision. Our vision is to get everyone who is inclined to grow their own medication. Okay. So, that's the quickest way to get your medication. That's the cleanest way to get your medication. And by all means, if you're out there and you're one of these patients that need full extract cannabis oil, if you would have started growing this time last year, you would already be having plenty of FICO to get you through your needs. Start now if you're not. I will help you. I will get you lined out. I will get you equipment at discount prices if you need it. If you're short on money, we'll find a way to get you growing. So that's what this giveaway is about.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are plenty of people in this community that want to help get you growing. And if you need FICO, you need to be growing your own cannabis because you can get a lot of FICO out of 6 cannabis plants once you get good at bringing the yield in. So that's our mission, to get people growing weed, their own medication.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about here. And also, we just want to have some fun with the community that's here and the legal. So that's our vision, and also to keep the community informed on things like that. So that being said, jump on board with this Grow It Forward. We are going to, we're going to talk about some things in a minute that moving forward with the Grow It Forward. So right now, it's that time. Ching-a-ling-a-ling. Is Dave back there waving the yellow flag? Dave's waving the giveaway flag.
All right.
It's giveaway time. See, we forget.
Yeah.
We forget, so we need Dave to remind us. We have an issue with short-term memory loss.
All right.
Let's have somebody.
Jerry Corton.
Jerry Corton.
Corton.
Courteton. Are you here, Jerry? You have won. What has he won?
Wedding Punch 3.
Wedding Punch 3 from Brother Mendel. Free seeds, cool.
Send us a message, get in contact with us, Jerry.
That's very festive, what we just did. So. I'm stoned. I don't give a shit. All right.
Fun
we just
stuff.
gave away seeds. So, okay. I promised. I've been talking to this guy, Seth Cunningham, and he's on a mission. You want to punch in that link, man?
Yes, I do.
Now, hold on. We'll punch it in here in a little bit. We're going to punch in a link here at the end of the show, and we want you to go here and support this guy's mission. He is on a walk to raise money, okay? Can you bring up his... Here, let me bring it up. I'm going to bring up his deal here and talk to you about it because I've been talking to him about this over the last... are you on here, Seth? I don't know if he's on or not. But this is Seth Cunningham, and this is the Walking Through the Pain. Okay, that is it's hashtag walking through the pain. And he is, right now, he's walking to the frozen Mystic Falls, and he's raising awareness and money for medical cannabis and people in pain that need. So we're supporting him, and I want to give him a shout out. We're going to post a link to his page, and we would love for everyone to just show him some love. That's it.
At the end of the
show
show,
him some love.
At the end of the show, we'll get on there and we'll post it up so you guys can take a look at it.
So, what do you got, Zach?
Well, I did want to say, I'm hearing some chatter, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it too. But I hear our neighbors are possibly getting on board with us.
I did hear that.
How cool would that be?
I did hear that today. Kansas.
Yes, Kansas might be getting on board.
Yeah, right.
That's
Kansas.
awesome.
But I also heard the bill got shut down. But I don't know. So, does anybody know what's going on in Kansas, Ricky Starling?
Yeah.
You might inform us. So, because it takes a community to keep everyone informed. So, you guys have the most information about the community that I know of here in Missouri right now. So, keep us informed. Did I read right? Did that bill get shot down that she introduced about? What she's trying to do is use the finances, the taxes from the medical cannabis, if they legalize it, to subsidize their Medicare.
Right. Which that's a good idea.
That's great. So
it's a great idea.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
that's cool.
For the seeds, follow our page. We post up a post the day of the show. If you want to get entered for the seeds, you have to tag someone and like that post, and we write your name down. And you go in the jar at the end of for the show.
Right before the show. So cool. So
I did real quick on the Grow It Forward. I saw up there a couple 20-30 messages ago. Ricky said we got 71 people in
71 people in the Grow It Forward. Wow.
So,
awesome. And you know what? Depending on what happens, we may be able to have more than the 4 giveaways. Mm-hmm. So just keep coming. Keep them coming. A lot of people need help growing. Yeah. A lot of people need help getting started, and that's what we want to do. We want to get you started growing your own goo. Yes. And if it don't stank, it ain't dank. So,
speaking of dank.
Speaking of dank, just the term dank. When I hear and when I say the term dank, it's almost like I get sucked back into a place where I was in the past. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the death of a cannabis icon, Subcool. Him and I, we had a love-hate relationship in the end,
I think didn't a lot of the growers kind of have that,
there's a lot of, when you get on that dude's level, there's a whole lot of stuff you have to deal with. So,
I bet.
But I'll tell you what, I definitely want to talk about Subcool because I want to honor the guy. He did a lot for the cannabis community. I've got a post that was posted the day of his passing that will show people who he was. And it's better for me to just read it and then that'll give you a more clear picture. He was a great guy. He did a lot for the community. He battled his own health and personal issues. He came up against a lot of fire from the industry. He was one of the best photographers that High Times has ever seen, in my opinion. He taught me a lot. Yeah. He's the one that got me growing my own cannabis. I mean, literally, I was reading an article that he wrote in High Times and prompted me to get on a forum called Breed Bay. He was on that forum, and he talked me into growing my own and kind of taught me how to do things, Very cool. And so I don't think I would be where I am right now with my cannabis.
Your gardening skills.
If it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I feel so, because, back then it was a small community, man.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were all online, and we were all in there, and we were all just trying to learn together. And there were a lot of old school dudes that were teaching the youngsters coming in, and you know, he never asked for anything in return.
Yeah.
And he just taught, and he gave, and he, you know,
I was reading an article. I saw
had his haters, had his lovers, and everything else.
I saw at one point he had lost everything to the California fires.
Yeah.
And he before he passed, he was working on building everything back up, and you know, so he's definitely a guy that's lost it all, and even came back after.
And I'm going to,
you know,
I
can post that link up, or are you going to read it off?
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Just because I want to.
Oh, it looks like he has it up there. A chunk
That's
of
what
it.
I wrote.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
thank you very much, Ricky. This was in the Cannabis Business Times, and this article was written on February 3rd, 2020 by Eric Sandy. The legendary cannabis breeder Subcool has died. The news hit the industry hard, displaying ripple effects of Subcool's influence on breeders across the world. Dave Bowman, known to the cannabis world as Subcool, died on February 1st. He had been ill for quite some time, battling alpha-1 alpha-1 something deficiency. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that when I'm stoned. So
I couldn't do it sober, so.
and emphysema, as well as a fallout from a divorce and the California, when he divorced Miss Jill, that blew me away. And California wildfire that took nearly everything he had worked to create in cannabis. He lost it all, basically. As recently as late 2019, he was working toward a return to the cannabis scene he so passionately supported throughout his life. That's when he started the Dank Seed Company, I believe. Okay. I was underground for so long, I didn't keep up on anything. The news hit the industry hard, displaying the ripple effects of Subcool's influence on breeders across the world. Subcool, born Montgomery Ball, went on to develop Team Green Avenger seeds, the TGA Subcool seeds, TGA Genetics, the Dank, and pioneer cultivars like Jack the Ripper and Space Queen. My primary original goal was, this is a quote, my primary original goal was to create a line of marijuana seeds that grew out to be high-yielding, fruit-flavored hybrids, he told Big Buds in 2016. The first fruit taste and scent we perfected was lemon. Then came grape, cherry, and orange. Pretty soon, we were working with chocolate tastes and scents. I was so excited about these cultivars, and I gave them out to other professional growers to see what they said. People told me they loved these strains, not just the taste and scent, but also their new kinds of highs. He developed his organic recipe for super soil, always fine-tuning the lessons he had learned in order to achieve perfection, he wrote. In 2017, Subcool and his wife saw their Santa Rosa, California home destroyed by wildfire. They lost more than 4 million cannabis seeds and all of their breeding plants. My God, what a devastating thing to happen to a breeder that has worked so hard to build that library. Yeah. Oh my God. By that point, the two had begun to make plans to formally separate. The wildfire made things much worse. In September 2019, High Times published a profile on the iconic breeder focusing on a new cultivation facility he and his team were building in a former bowling alley.
Guess it'd be set up.
Here we have gathered thoughts shared by cannabis growers and business owners on social media over the weekend. Very sad to hear about the passing of legendary cannabis breeder Subcool. TGA supplied some of the first seeds we sold, Harborside Inc., and he was a true pioneer. Yeah, so I'm not. We'll post a link, and if you want to go read it, then you can go ahead and go read it. But that just kind of shows you, where he was and what kind of person he was in the community. So he was definitely an icon. He definitely earned his place in the history of cannabis.
Yeah, it sounds like he had quite a big influence on it.
He had an extremely huge influence on it.
And did I hear chocolate in there?
Oh yeah.
Chocolate.
You know what?
I am curious.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
When I hear chocolate, I always go back to Chocolope. That old variety Chocolope, you know.
Never even heard
Yeah,
of it.
that was cool. But you know, I that's where I got. He's the guy that impressed me to grow in organic living soil with the Super Soil project that we worked. You know, he had, and I wasn't some. You know, look, I was just in the right place at the right time. And I had the ability to buy the products to make the soil, and I was willing to experiment. And so a group of us all worked together trying to help iron out that super soil recipe. And that's what gave me the passion for mixing the soil. And I want to focus on the fact that he gave that to me, not that I'm doing something. He gave that to me. He imparted that love for the soil and that knowledge and that understanding of what it means to till the soil and to build the proper soil for cannabis. And so he gave me that love.
Nice.
And so I want to give that love away to everyone else that I can who wants it. He also impressed on me certain ethics in breeding. Okay. Because of my affiliation with Subcool, I learned a lot about breeding ethics.
Okay.
So
elaborate a little more. What do you mean by breeding ethics?
Well, just I don't want to go too deep into it because it can get very dramatic. But there's a lot of ethical issues in breeding, like when you throw a couple hybrids together and you get whatever you get and you call it a strain and name it. And things like that, that people do now just because it's so mainstream. But back then, I mean, you'd be shut out pretty quick if you played that game. So
it was a pretty small.
So breeder ethics, stuff like that. So I learned a lot about breeders' ethics while I was dealing with Subcool, and I was a strain tester for him. He recognized in me my ability to grow, and he asked me to test some varieties for him. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Okay, and it's a memory that I'll carry to my grave. Cool. So he was big to me, and I want to honor him, and I want to give him a big shout out to where he's at. And his memory won't die. He's the original Dankster. And there's Danksters out there all over the place, okay? He coined the term Dankster. Subcool did.
Did he?
Yep.
Very cool.
He always said, we're not gangsters, we're Danksters.
So that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from. It comes from Subcool. I named the soil that I build, the Dank, after him, in honor of him. To just as because I felt like, he gave me the passion to do it. This is where I'm at. And I hope that was what I did for him. So, peace out, Subcool. I know you're up there, wherever you're at, out there.
Dabbing out.
He might be dabbing out, or he might just be growing some fucking really dank shit. I think he loved growing more than he loved using the medication. So, anyway,
I can definitely see
on
that
note. Since since he was such a prolific breeder, and I'm gonna out that on giving away some seeds.
All right.
Dave's back there waving the yellow flag. So you want to get some seeds done, and let's get some music, man.
All right. Let's see. There's that one. Buddy Fletcher.
Buddy Fletcher, are you here, buddy? Yeah.
Got some Spectra.
Oh, somebody liked hearing that. Spectra. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I've got some Spectra going right now. It is just coming up on 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah?
It's been in the bloom room.
There he is.
There he is. It's been in the bloom room. Okay, buddy, I'm growing Fletcher.
You're growing Fletcher.
Wow, I'm big. Anyway, buddy Fletcher, I'm growing Spectra right now. And it's 10 and a half weeks in bloom, and it is not ready at all And so basically, a lot of people are like, oh, it goes 8 weeks. So when they switch 12-12, they start counting 8 weeks. No. When you switch 12-12, you have to give the plant about 2 weeks to transition to bloom. Okay, once you get bud set in about 14 days, anywhere between 12 and 16 days, you'll get good bud set. Then you can start counting bloom.
Okay.
In my opinion. Okay, so then if you got 8 weeks, so basically they've actually been in bloom 8 weeks.
Okay.
But they've been in the 12-12 for 10 weeks. A little over now, I think. Right at 10 now since it's Tuesday. So I think they probably have about 2 more weeks to go. So plan on about 12 weeks to finish from the time you flip them to 12-12. That's my guess because they're about 30 to 40% cloudy right now on the trichomes. But they're fading. They're way faded. They're starting to ripen. So I would expect them to start getting pretty cloudy pretty quick. So
how's the plant look itself?
It's a good stocky little plant. It looks like it's going to yield well. I don't think I have any complaints about what I smell. It's covered with frost. Tell you what, I'll post some pictures of it in the morning.
Very cool.
So I'll go in there. I might even, you can see it in the video, but I don't know if you can really see a good close-up. But I'll post some pictures of it in the morning for sure.
Look for them, buddy, and you'll see what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And let's roll that right on into what I want to talk about.
Yeah, with the grow it forward.
The grow it forward.
Mm-hmm. What were you thinking about with the grow it forward?
I don't know. I think you should have something to talk about right now, dude, because I'm doing all the fucking talking up here, man.
Yeah, well,
I want to hear from you, man.
One of the projects we're gonna start working on is with the whole. We're gonna keep with the theme of the grow it forward, and with our grow coach over here, we're gonna do some little tutorials in his grow tent.
Yeah. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow through. We're gonna do it a segment on the show every week. Or bi-weekly,
right? Or
every third week, or whatever the hell we feel like doing. If we don't get to it, we're not going to stress on it, okay? Because sometimes it's just not very climactic to look at the garden when you're waiting on plants to grow.
Especially like between the time you get buds, to the time they start getting big. You got a couple weeks right there where there's just not a whole lot.
I'm thinking more of the seedling stage. You get 2 leaves, and it's just come on, dude. Come on, start putting on some shit, and then you're vegging. But anyway, I'm going to carry us through an entire grow from setting up a grow tent to planting seeds all the way through, and we're going to do it's in the garden. That's a segment in the garden, and we're going to do it as part of the Grow It Forward program or giveaway. Golly, I can't keep my head straight, man. Dab in. I'm about ready to dab right out onto the ground.
Yeah. We're only halfway through the show, too.
So anyway, so we're going to, a segment, and I'm going to be probably doing 10, 15 minutes. It's pre-recorded. We're going to, show it here, and it's going to be walking through an entire grow and keeping up, and I'm going to cover all kinds of things from planting seeds to taking cuttings, sexing the plants, because I'm going to do regular seeds, so we're going to learn what to look for, when we're sexing a plant. I'm going to show you how to force it to sex, to show its sex. I'm going to show you how to take cuttings and make clones. How I hate using that word.
Clones?
Yeah. But anyway, that's the lingo. So I'm going to take cuttings and use clones or make clones, show you guys how to do that. And just walk you right on through when to flip, how to trim it up, when it's time to flip it to 12-12. What's funny over there?
Rachel called you stoner.
Oh, hey, that's not cool.
We're medicating. I don't know what you're talking about.
Patience.
Yes, we're patients.
I'm a stoner patient.
I'm a patient with no patience.
You have more patience than I do.
Sometimes, yes.
Dude, you have patience dealing with my
that is
asinine attitude. I'm going to tell you what, I give a shout out to all my friends. I'll tell you, if you can put up with me, you deserve you know, you deserve the friendship, man. You've earned that shit. I guarantee you that. I'm hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I can
so
be a handful too, though.
this is geared for first-time growers. And so on that note, it's geared for first-time growers. So hopefully we'll get some first-time growers in this next seed giveaway.
Yeah.
Is Dave waving the yellow flag? All right, we're going to give away. Am I keeping on track here? I am way ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I am way ahead of schedule.
wait on
so
them seeds a
we'll
little
wait
bit.
on those seeds a little
Yeah.
bit. We're going to tease
So,
you just
psych.
a little bit. We're going to make you wait on it.
Yeah.
We're going to wait on it. Right now, what I want to do is I want you guys to choose a number between 1 and 500. Hold on. Don't do it yet. Zach, write a number down.
Okay, I got it right here.
No, write it on paper.
Write
Right on paper. We got to make sure we're legit. We don't want
you guys can
anybody
see.
going.
You said 1 in 500, right?
Yeah, 1 in 500. All right. Okay. So take this. I'm going to eat it. No. I'm going to put it right here. Okay. So between 1 and 500, and we're going to give away a 25% off from Fresh Green gift card. Go right now. 1 and 500. All right. We're going to give you a few to get those numbers up.
I can tell you, wow. Look at the first couple guesses.
Why are you going there, dude? You're not
Wow.
supposed to give fucking hints, man.
Well, I'm pretty stoned too.
All right, well, everybody knows what ballpark to throw that shit in. So anyway, hold on, I'm trying to give it. Here, Danny, give that to her so she can watch
Yeah.
and see if somebody hits it on the head. All right, so all that for a $25 gift card. I want to give some others 25% off.
So the more, and it's not a one-time purchase. The more you
No, it's one-time purchase.
one-time
but, I mean,
purchase,
it's not
but
just one item.
One item. So
It's an overall of your overall bill.
yes.
So, all righty. So that is cool. So what I really want to do, honestly, I want to talk about growing.
Yeah.
But I want to answer some questions, man.
Right.
So if you guys have a grow question, and I want this to be geared toward novice growing right now. I don't want like any crazy off the wall, high tech questions because I'm too stoned to answer that stuff. Right now, we're gearing this toward people who haven't grown before. Mm-hmm. And so if you've had 1 to 3 or 5 grows and you got some questions to throw at me, let's have them, man. Throw them at me because I definitely want to talk about growing. And again, why do you grow your own, dude? What is it that made you decide to grow your own?
I do use it for pain management. And I use it all the time, and with the amount I use, it's just more efficient. Even buying it on the street, it was more efficient to grow my own. And it's when I started. That's why I started it. But once I started it, it turned into more. I grow more to grow now. It's not even about it is some about the final product.
Sure
but,
it is.
But
Don't fool yourself.
I really, really enjoy the growing part of it. Just as much as the final product anymore. And it's the patience behind it,
Yeah,
So,
I agree. There was a time I had to quit growing for a span of time. And, I think I jonesed more over not growing than anything. I mean, because it's easy to get a sack of nug on the street, this before it was legal.
Right.
Of course I was in a legal state, but, it's easy to go buy it. But,
Hey, we got it. Stuart Wells.
Stuart Wells.
Come on, dude. Really? Stuart.
So, did we have any?
I've got some questions.
Yeah.
If you want to take them.
Yes, I want to take the questions.
Cool.
Stuart. Total Green Solutions.
Scroll up here real quick.
Okay, find the first question. Bring them to us. So the first one I saw was about curing.
Yeah.
Okay, all about the curing process. Okay.
Yeah, you want me to just keep them?
Well, yeah, and go, yeah. Okay, so all about that is like a video in itself.
Oh yeah.
All I can say is when you pull it off, the rack. See, to me, drying and curing is all synonymous. It's all one big function. Okay, you take the cannabis you've trimmed or you haven't trimmed, but you've cut down, you've harvested. You hang it to dry. As it dries, it's curing also. Once it dries to the point to where the stems snap, and they don't have to break in half, but if you can hear them snap,
just that crack sound.
then you can cut the buds off of the stems. At that time, there's still, even though they might be a little dry and crisp on the outside, there's still a lot of moisture locked inside that bud.
Okay.
Even though it seems really dry. So we need to draw that moisture out of that bud evenly. And so we begin what's known as the curing process. So we put it in the jar. We seal it in the mason jar. And every day what I do, if it lasts long enough, is I crack the jar twice a day for the first 3 days. Crack the jar, just kind of air it around for a couple minutes, close the jar, set it back, and you want to keep it in a room where your temperature is around 70, 75 degrees at the most, preferably 60s. You know, it doesn't have to, at that point, you just don't want it to get hot so that it transpires and sweats. You want it to, you don't want the water to condensate or any moisture that comes out to condensate.
Right, that's what produces mold.
Right, so
here's
twice a day you crack it, hold that thought, and then for 3 days, and then once a day for a couple days, and then put it back and just leave it alone. It's fine. If you want to put a Gavita pack in it, I recommend not putting a Gavita pack or a, what's the other one called? The Bavita or what? I don't remember what the other one's called, but unless it dries out too much. If it dries out too much and you got to bring some moisture back into the bud, put one of those Bavita packs or whatever you call the other brand, I don't remember what it is, back in there and bring it back to the right moisture. The 55%, I think, is probably the best one I would recommend. So curing your bud, that's it in a nutshell. What's the next question?
All right, next question is, how many plants in a 2x4x5 tent with 1200 watt LED can you grow?
2x4, that's a pretty small
2 by 4 by 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
That's a closet.
How big of a LED?
1200 watt?
That's not 1200 true watts. What's the true watts? That's what I need to know, the true watts.
That's going to be, I mean, if you're asking how many plants you can grow in that size of a tent, two,
that's,
maybe three.
Well, no, 2 by 4. I mean, you could grow 6 plants in a 2 by 4.
Right, small
plants. Yeah, it's all relative to the size of the plants you grow.
True.
You know, if it were me in a 2 by 4, I would grow 3 bigger plants. 6 smaller plants, if you train them right and you get good at a little LST, maybe just some pinching and topping, and some sort of, what?
Ricky, 32 in 1 gallon
pots.
Oh,
wow. Yes, Ricky, you are right.
I love it, Ricky.
You can get 32 in 1 gallon pots. That's how we did it back in the day, brother. Sea of green, baby. Sea of green. And we had 32 buds about that big, every one of them weighing right about an ounce.
Wow.
So,
32. There you go. There's your goals.
But you can't grow 32 plants legally in Missouri.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
Please don't do that. Just put 6 in there.
Now that's what I'm saying is now you got to try.
Roy Orbison.
Out of 6 plants, you got to try and get that same quantity. So if you can do that 32 ounces on those 32 plants, if you can do 6 plants and still fill that canopy, could you still do 32 ounces?
Are you asking me if I could do a pound off of 6 plants?
I don't even know.
Off of 3.
Off of 3,
on
okay.
That 2 by 4 in that 2 by 4 tent.
I'm not stoned it on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I could easily do a pound in that tent.
You think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
easily. Yeah, with a little, just a couple of a nice little screen, a scrog.
Right, to get it all spaced out.
Get a scrog. If you get the canopy full, and you got your whole canopy's full, and everything's about probably 14 inches off the screen.
Right.
Strip everything under the screen.
So it's only what's
Yeah,
showing up top?
Yeah, and if I had to, if I'm going for weight, I would put that shit in cocoa.
Cocoa and red.
Yeah, and I can do organic in cocoa if I'm going for weight.
Right.
You can't really do living soil in cocoa, but you can do
No.
organic in cocoa, which is damn fine nug. So yeah, absolutely I can get, but you could grow 6 plants in that easy. So that's the answer to that question. That was a long way
Ricky's
around.
got another one.
Okay.
2x4 challenge.
The 2x4 challenge.
I don't know if you want to tackle this one,
What?
but what happens if hemp and marijuana crossbreed?
I don't even know. I don't know. No clue on that one. I'll look that one.
What happens if hemp and marijuana crossbreed? What happens if a Doberman and a German Shepherd crossbreed? I would imagine that you would get a cross between hemp and cannabis.
Right, like
But
would-
hemp is cannabis.
Right. It's just
So,
a
right.
CBD, you know,
I think it'd be a crapshoot. I mean, you know, you might.
get like one of the, what is it called? God's gift or whatever that's
Well, you know, I think, honestly, I'm trying to think of something, you know, clever to say, but in all reality, you stand a good chance of getting something that has a 1-to-1 CBD to THC ratio. So you end up, you know, a lot of people have experimented with that. And, so you just, you end up with, like anything else, you get genetics from both sides, and you can swing both ways or find somewhere right in the middle there. So it would go ahead and do it and do a pheno hunt and let us know how it turns out.
right.
Because, there are a lot of people that, you know, are doing it, and they're getting the 1-to-1 ratios on the seeds. So anyway, there's a lot more to it than that, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
simple in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Happy Rock Farms would like to donate a bag of the dank to someone. So if you want
Oh.
to do a drawing,
So it sounds like Happy Rock Farms has jumped in and thrown in a bag of the dank to give away on the show. So we're gonna go ahead and the dank's your recipe. So why don't you pull the name?
All right,
for
I'll
this
pull a
one?
name for the dank since we haven't given all the seeds away. I can't pull a name out of there. That's
Oh
for seeds.
yeah, that's for
So
seeds.
yeah.
So
Oh, I'll do the drawing for the dank after we do the last drawing for the seeds.
there we go.
All right, so cool. Thank you. What's the next question?
Next question.
The dank, the dank, in honor of Subcool. And how? I guess Chris is going to spring for shipping or personally deliver it. if somebody who wins it is in the boot heel.
Right.
What?
Timothy wants to talk about training and shaping.
Timothy
On McEnroe.
McEnroe. Trimming and training. What do you want to know, Tim? What do you want to talk about trimming and training? That's kind of an advanced question, but do we
Right.
have anything smaller than that? I mean, honestly, really quick for a beginner, Tim, and Timothy, yeah, I know Timothy pretty well. Timothy's a homie. He's a homeboy.
Is he?
He's from around here.
Very cool.
So, but he lives out by, out in the country now. So he's a country boy. You're a farm boy now, Timothy. What node do you top at? Okay, more specific question. Thank you, Timothy. And Chris will make it happen. I always top the 5th node. Once a plant, but that's relative also because I'll let my plant grow up and then I'll trim it up to where it has 5 nodes, then I'll top it. Okay. And then I'll pinch the top and let the other branches catch up, and if I'm inclined to, if the variety that I'm growing likes it, I'll top it again and pinch them all again. And depending on what what style of growing I'm growing for, and some plants don't like to be topped.
Right.
Some plants give you an adverse reaction to topping and pinching and training. So I would say experiment with one, and if it doesn't like it, don't do it because.
Right.
Right now, I'm screwing with the bee cookies because I need to get it shorter with more yield.
Right.
I'm going to scrog it, fill out a scrog. So I'm doing some topping and training, and it really doesn't like it. So it's
unfortunate.
not. Well, I just got to learn it. So
Right.
I'll figure it out though.
Figure out the timing of when to do
I mean,
stuff.
sometimes you have to you have to use an oblong tub and plant the plant over here, and
Right.
bring it up and just stretch it all the way across and let it come out.
Right.
You know, sometimes, I mean, there's different, you can usually manipulate a variety to do what you want it to do as long as you learn how to grow it and stick with it a little bit.
I can tell you, I made the mistake one time of trying to scrog a plant
Yeah.
while it was already in flowering.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason I did it was because the buds had already gotten so big, it was starting to fall
Yeah.
over, and there were so many tops. Oh, that was a nightmare. But I think we're ready for that last seed, and we can do the dank at the end of the show.
Yeah. What other questions do we have? Go ahead and we're going to take another seed drawing.
Yeah, let's
So
let's see. We got a winner of Jake Smith.
Jake Smith, you
Smith.
have won.
Oh, they got our paper. What's the first one on that paper?
What?
The
Cinnamon
apple.
Cinnamon apple.
There we go.
Cinnamon apple. Let me see. I see Nancy. Yes, we take the leaves that we pinch off during the vegetative and the bloom phase, and we use them in smoothies and cooking and all kinds of stuff.
My dog.
There are a lot of nutrients in cannabis leaves. A lot of nutrients. Amazing in smoothies. Very good for you. I recommend it highly, as long as they're green.
Yeah.
What's another question, Sinead?
For growing in an apartment, how bad is the smell?
Bad.
Carbon filter.
If you don't have permission to grow in your apartment, invest in an extremely good carbon scrubber. Extremely good carbon.
Yes.
I mean, when we lived in Lawrence, you could smell it driving by the dorms.
Yeah. It was bad.
You could smell it driving by the dorms at KU.
I've had neighbors tell me they can smell it, and I have a carbon filter hooked up. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well, okay, let's talk about carbon filters, okay? Cheap carbon filters will get you cheap air quality.
Yeah.
Period. If you go buy, and here's why, okay? A carbon filter is rated. Listen to me on carbon filters. They're rated by their poundage, okay? If you get the right one with the right airflow, the right size inlet, all that stuff, check the poundage. You want the carbon filter with the heavy scrubber, with the heavy weight, because the more weight, Zach had to run. He had an emergency phone call.
We have no video.
Oh, okay. I'm going to keep on talking. Nancy, Brother Mendel is getting you your seeds. It's in his hands. So anyway, a carbon scrubber is rated by the weight. The heavier the carbon scrubber, the more charcoal, the more activated carbon it has in that scrubber. Okay? So, you want a heavy carbon scrubber. You want a carbon scrubber with the weight up. I am? Got the delay on. So, all right. So, that's how you buy a carbon scrubber. If you get an inexpensive carbon scrubber, usually it doesn't have enough carbon in it to really get you what you need as far as air quality. And if you have any varieties that really, really, really have a strong terpene profile, a cheap carbon scrubber is just not going to get it. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to give away one more thing. We're going to give away the dank, and we still got a few minutes here. So what's another question, Shanae?
Cheyenne wants to know for her sister what to use for pH up or down that's organic.
Okay, pH up or down. Organic, there are some companies that have organic pH up and pH down. I think Nectar's one of them, Nectar for the Gods. But what I like to use, a lot of people use lemon juice for pH down. I use citric acid. Basically, it's lemon juice dehydrated. So it's, and it takes very little to bring the pH down. Also, pH up, baking soda.
Yeah,
it's the quickest, easiest way. It's all natural. It helps stabilize the soil even when you put it in. So
Does it really?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
well, I mean, baking soda. If I need to change the pH in my soil, And I don't do this in bloom because if you go a big swing
Oh yeah.
of pH in bloom, you'll shut your plants down. But if you need to, if you're in veg and you've got, say you check your pH on your soil and it's like 5.5 and you're like, oh crap, I need it up around 6.5. What do I do? One tablespoon per gallon
Baking
to
soda
tap water of baking soda
will bring it up.
will bring your pH soil up almost 1 point if you saturate, depending on the size of the container.
And that's doing
you
it
know.
100% organically.
Yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
and that'll bring your pH in your soil up, and it will stabilize it.
Right.
So, yeah, that's baking soda and citric acid are my recommendations.
Very cool.
Some people just go buy nectar for the gods. It's very expensive,
Yeah.
but it is organic. I think there are some other organic. I think Fox Farm has what they say is an organic or all natural.
Right.
But they're very expensive, and you go through a lot of it.
Yeah.
Go to Walmart, go to Sprouts, go to
Yeah.
natural grocers, buy yourself a little bottle of citric acid. I was at Menards today walking by, and I caught my eye, and it was a big bottle of citric acid for like 98 cents.
Really.
So, and that citric acid, I do 30, almost 40 gallons of water with a quarter teaspoon of citric acid, and it'll take it from 7.8, 7.9 down to 6.8, 6.5. So, yeah, those are my recommendations: citric acid or baking soda.
Very cool.
Cool. What's
Yeah.
next? Next question.
How do you test your soil
How do you test your soil? There's two
for
ways
pH?
for pH. There's two ways to test your soil for pH. If you don't have a pH probe, soil probe I have a pH soil probe.
I don't.
Tell you what,
You know where it's at?
it's right there on my table.
Let's see. Got to take
I
off
happen
my
to-
mic real quick.
I happen to have it here.
Yeah.
So I'll show you what I use to test my soil. It's a pH pen that goes into the soil. You can buy them. They're fairly expensive, but they're worth it. The cheap ones that you get at Menards or Home Depot or Westlake, any other garden center, the little metal probe that has the little brass or copper thing on the end, they're junk. I wouldn't trust those. So this is my meter, okay? Here, this is my meter. You can see it's a Blue Lab, okay? And you can buy the little pen handheld one too, and it's not nearly as expensive. But this right here is the pH probe. So it just goes right down into the soil. You just poke it right down into the soil. But what I do is I water pretty heavy, and then I let it set for overnight usually.
Oh,
She
wants to know about from water runoff.
Okay, that's called a slurry test. So what I would suggest, I haven't made a video on doing a slurry test, but it's a bit complicated. Not really, but just explaining it here in a nutshell. What you're going to do is you're going to measure the pH on the water that you're going to use to go in to, and then you take like a solo cup, fill it up about halfway with soil, and then you'll take your water and you'll pour it in to the solo cup, this equal to the amount of soil that you put in the cup. So about a cup of soil and then about a cup of water on top of it, and you let it set there for a little while, and then you can just put your pH pen right down in it, or you can drain the water off and just test the water. It's called a slurry test, but there's an equation depending on the pH of the water going in and the pH of the water coming out. There's a mathematical equation. I would recommend you Google slurry test, SLURRY, slurry test. There are a lot of good videos on YouTube that explain how to do the slurry test. So is our video screwing up?
I think that might be do you see us skipping over there? Okay, I think that just might be my computer.
No, my phone's doing it too.
All right.
All right, well, we're having technical difficulties, so good thing about it, we're down to the end of the night. We're going to give away, okay, so we're going to draw a name, out of the bowl. Happy Rock Farms, Chris Dalton has stepped up and wants to give away a bag of the dank. So we're going to give away a bag of the dank. The dank, the dank, the dank.
Yeah.
In the name of Subcool. R.I.P., brother. I'll grab the name. That's what you told me before.
Yep.
Zach's making me do this. All right. The winner of a bag of living soil, the dank, Angela Skinner. I hope you're local, Angela.
I want to say that.
Angela Skinner, you won a bag of soil, the dank. So, cool. Beautiful. You know what? I haven't heard yet, but I think we might. Let me see here. Okay, I have heard. All right, so next week, we all know it's Black History Month. Okay, we all know that we all have our own set of challenges that we need to face, and we're going to get our video worked out here
for the next show.
For the next show, but you guys can still hear us. So we're going to have a guest on here next week. Destiny, and I hope I pronounce her last name, Simone.
Simone, I believe so.
Okay, Destiny Simone. For some reason, I always see Simon, but that's just my mind. So Destiny, she's going to be here, and she's going to be talking to us about what she's doing with her. She's Canna Events by Leo.
Yep.
She's involved heavily with Canna Matriarchs. I did an event for them for the Canna Events by Leo early last year or late last year, whatever, in Independence. And she's a great girl. She's doing a lot. I say girl, she's a woman. She's doing a lot for the cannabis industry, and she's doing a lot for minorities in the cannabis industry. Cool. I wanted her to come here. I want her to talk about her vision and what they're doing and how they're bringing awareness to the fact that there is exclusion in our industry from black and brown, and we're not going to look the other way at it because we don't think it's okay.
No, not at all.
It affects me on a personal level because it affects my children and their children. So I definitely want to bring that light into the main focal point of things. So she's going to come and she's going to talk about things next week. Awesome. That's pretty awesome. So we got that to look forward to. And you know what I'm all about, grow your own.
Yeah.
Get with me. I'll teach you how, and I won't even charge you unless I have to come to your house and set up your stuff and go through all that. And then there's a whole lot. But other than that, I will help you online and I will help you get your equipment. I will help do whatever I can. So dab in, dab out. What are you guys dabbing? We're gonna dab dabba yabba doo. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this one here.
Gonna do that one?
Yep, I'm gonna do Underground Special. That reminds me of Creedence Clearwater. Let the Midnight Special.
Got a lot of good stuff.
All right.
I'll let you get your
Thank you, sir.
starter.
Are y'all gonna dab out with us? Don't leave us too early. She's a boiling now.
Yeah. I'm gonna use yours.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us, even through all the technical difficulties.
Yeah,
we probably just got a little piece of equipment that's breaking down. We'll get it replaced.
Get it all good by next week.
You guys have a great week. I'll see you online. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Everyone, you guys rock.
Remember to like our page, share us with all your friends.
Let people know. Let's get the word out. Education is key. Let's overgrow Missouri. See you guys later.